Project Sing 2020 journal. We've gone through about a third of the year so far, and today I'm working on the Monday, May 18th spread, and I've already painted some black circles on here with this PBO matte black paint. I really like it because it's easy to work on top of. It's has a nice matte surface that you can accepts paint and marker and different things very well. So what I'm wanting to do now is take this circle and do some lettering in it. I have a quote I want to say, so I just thought I'd show you the process of how I kind of figure out how to do some of my word art lettering, this time in this circle. I'm using a Stabilo water-soluble pencil. The nice thing about this is if I make a mistake, I can take a wet baby wipe or a wet rag and wipe it off and try again. I'm doing a script that's kind of my own handwriting, but kind of modified. And as you see, I don't worry about following straight lines necessarily. I do want it to be able to read it. So I'm trying to be mindful of that. Here I know that I only have these 2 words to put on this line, so I inset them because I knew that would not take the full thing. But then I'm going to emphasize this next word, so even though it's just 1 word, valuable, it's a long word, and so I'm going to try to make it fill up this full space. Okay, I know that I gotta get done here soon. 2 more words. Okay, so I got it all in except for Rumi, who said this, but I could put it over here even to outside of the circle. So I think I'll go with this. I kind of look at it and see. I might want to scooch this word over a little bit as I actually write it, so there isn't quite so much empty space there. I might wonky up some of these a little bit and make them a little bit bigger, but I think I have it close enough that I can go ahead and start in with my Posca paint pen. I like the fine tip on these, and I think I'm ready to go ahead and start in with that. And you know, I don't get too uptight about it, because if I really end up not liking it, I can just paint over it with the black paint again and try again. So here I go. So as you see, I'm making these a little bit bigger, a little bit more exaggerated, kind of making some adjustments. Have to be careful using these Posca pens to not push too much. So if I push, it makes a little splatter like that. Where if I pull, then I have better luck. But I'm not going to worry about that because I can cover it up. I can go back and fix it with a black paint. Okay, I'm going to thicken up, which is the real difference between making something look finished kind of a rule of thumb if you're not sure where to thicken your letters is to just thicken the downstrokes. And bring that down a little longer. Downstroke. See here, I just let this letter actually run into the word above it. That's fine because I want to make the most of my space. And this word I'm kind of thickening up even more because I want emphasis on this word alone, because that is the prompt that I'm working from on this page. I'm not going to do a whole lot with that, just make it a little more solid. Irregularity is your friend on this. You don't have to make everything perfectly precise, and you see my R here is much bigger than my other letters, and in this particular style of lettering, this irregular handwriting, that's actually a desirable thing. Lengthening these letters just a little bit. You can see these Posca pens have a very nice flow to them, very easy to use. Okay, I think I decided I'm going to make these a little bit bigger, so I'm going to spread them out both directions a little bit. So I'm going to start this over just a little bit. Fill up some of this empty space I had over here. thickening those down strokes. So again, I'm just doing my normal handwriting, but maybe exaggerating some of the strokes just a little bit. I also space them out a little bit more so I do have room to thicken those down strokes. Okay, now I come to this word valuable that I wanted to kind of fill in the space a little bit more. So I think I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and I may try to make it a little curvier. We'll see what happens here. So I'm going to start up a little higher because I have this big space here. Then I'm going to kind of bring back down. I got to be careful to not do too much bigger or I'll run out of room. It's also easy to misspell words when you're... Okay, I think maybe I'm just going to go ahead and let this is about the center of the circle, so I'm just going to go ahead and let this actually divide my circle in two right here. It's kind of a nice touch. And again, this is a word I'm emphasizing, so I'm doing a little bit more thickening on it. And this also, as you thicken these, kind of gives you the chance to adjust too. I made my A kind of skinny, so instead of thickening on the inside, I chose to thicken on the outside. On a different letter, I may need to adjust it a different direction. This one also, I needed to tidy up. This line was a little crooked. I'm just taking the opportunity to tidy things up just a little bit too as I go. Okay, this time I came on the inside of the A to thicken that line. Now I'm on the outside again. This is the upstroke, this is the downstroke. Up and down. Down. Okay. So that word becomes emphasis. I have alone that I kind of want to stand out, and it kind of does because of this curve thing I have going here, and I want the word valuable to stand out because that kind of sums up that being alone can be valuable. All right, then I have the rest of my quote to do, and so these look a little tiny. I want them to look closer to the size of these, so I'm going to have to make the most of my space here. So I think I'm going to start clear over here. So even though I penciled it in, there's nothing that says I have to exactly follow that. Okay, now if I don't have a lot of space to leave between words, I can give the feeling of that division between words by misaligning them. So where my N is down here, if I start my A of the next word up here, it still gives you that sense that you're starting a new word. Even though, and I can even let it overlap my word above. And I can get a little bigger over here again. Okay, I'm going to go back and thicken these up. Bring that down a little bit. I don't have very much room to thicken here because these words are kind of small. So I'm not going to do much thickening on this one. Come over here, I have a little bit more room to thicken again. All right. Again, I'm going to make the most of my space I have here, so I'm actually letting this word curve down because I know I've got a little space below this line, so I'm letting it curve down a little bit. Okay, I'm actually going to skip that so those don't run into each other. It's because I don't want it to get confusing since they're both a loop. Sometimes I overlap them, but I still want it to be legible, so. Here I let it overlap because it was, it's clear which letter goes with which word. So downstroke, downstroke. All right, the last line here. Let's see, I might let this look like it just like that mermaid's tail just overlaps the word just a little bit. And I'm using the space and filling it up. Come back in, thicken my downstrokes. Don't have a lot of room here. And again, these words you can see are very close, but they look like separate words because I've misaligned them. All right, and there that is. And so I have my quote done. I need to I have a 0.02 micron pen that I'm going to use because I just want to give credit where credit is due. So I'm going to just write right over here. I'm going to put real small so we know who I'm quoting. I'm just going to write Rumi there since I kind of ran out of room on this. So now I will let that dry. I will take a wet towel and dry or wipe off so that all this little white part behind can be wiped off from my Stabilo pencil. And then I'll touch up anything needs to with a little black paint, and it's done. So that's it. So thanks for joining me on this page.